Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by today. It is Whip Wednesday, so tell me about your whip in the comments below. Tell me what you're working on, and it doesn't have to be a crochet project. You might be cleaning house today and folding laundry, or washing dishes, or, cleaning the toilets. Whatever, you could be doing diamond painting, or any other kind of creative thing that is a work in progress. My house is totally a work in progress all the time, so I could just film my house for today. But I am going to work on Tony the Rat. He has a Woobles kit that I got for Mother's Day. It was a whole set that I got for Mother's Day. And so I am going to pull him out and work on him. And see... I have a problem opening Ziploc bags. Not just these kind, but any kind. Yeah, I got it. I have to really get my finger in there. So what did we get in Tony the Rat's kit? Some pink yarn, a fuchsia colored hook, and it is a 4mm. Some white yarn, because Tony looks to be white. And we have some stuffing. And that's all. He has... Wait, is there something else? Nope. Okay. So I'm going to put the stuffing back in and the pink yarn back in because I know I'm not ready for those. This hook I'm going to put over here with my little collection of Woobles hooks that I got going on. I think they're all right there. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'm going to throw the bag over to the side and pull up a Tony's pattern. Some people collect these. Some people collect the hooks. Some people collect these little stickers, and some people collect these cards. Some people just collect the cards, and some people collect all of them. I don't know. So I don't collect any of that. Honestly, I just have them because they, come in the kit. And what I have done so far, when I have stuff left over in the kits, the leftover yarn is still in the kit. I'm gonna go through that and take all those out and put them in my Wooble type yarn. I do have some Wooble yarn, but then I also have some yarn I got from Amazon and some that I got on from Michael's, the cuddle yarn that's tube like this Woobles yarn. And then also, let me put this back in that bag too. Also, I'm hearing rumors that Hobby Lobby now has a tube type yarn, and I don't think it's very much. I think it's very inexpensive from what I've read in comments. I have not went and looked at it and checked it out yet, but I plan to. I plan to do that. I did ask in the comments, like, tell me what the name of the yarn is, or, so I know what to look for when I go. I'm not going to go probably for another week or so, but I really want to know what the yarn is. Next time it's on sale, I will go. Now, the Woobles kits always come like this. First off, let me say, I'm not doing a review on this kit or anything like that. We already know I love the kits, okay? So I'm not doing a review on it. I'm just telling you how I get started. So, first off, I am taking these out because I do not start my amigurumis as they do, which their way is the right way to do that. There's not really a right way or wrong way. I just do mine a little different. And also, I don't use a 4mm hook. I'm using a 5mm hook because of my hands. Now, I recommend anybody else use a 4mm hook. If you're able to, go for it. I'm just adjusting it to fit my needs. And that's why I am taking that out. Alright, and like I said, I'm using a 5mm hook. There's a little 5 on my finger hook right there. And then I'll be using these stitch markers here. And yeah, I'm going to pull this up. There is a code on the back of this card where you type in and go on their website and type in this code and it pulls up the pattern for you. And so some people have asked me about the pattern. It does not come with a written pattern in the package. You go online and you pull up the pattern. You can print the pattern out. I just crochet at my desk here mostly, so I just have the pattern on my desk. I download it, and then I make it bigger and larger. I click that plus button a few times to blow it up so I can see it. Otherwise, I can't. And so that's how I use it. Now, there's plenty of other ways to use it. You can use it on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer, laptop, whatever. You know, you can print it out if you want to, but I just prefer to just use it right here at my desk. Now, this particular Wooble is a different shape. His head and his body are two different shapes there. It's not the typical Wooble shape such as Henry. That's his shape. It's more like the dinosaur shape, I'm thinking, from what I can tell from that straight on photo. And this capybara right here is more of the dinosaur shape. See how the head and the body is not the same? Now this might be a little over dramatic for Tony the rat, but we're gonna see. And so I am just getting my yarn together here, getting ready, pulling up my pattern. And some people had asked me, they pulled it up and couldn't find the pattern. If you pull it up and go to the very top of that, it says download pattern, and click it. And then I definitely have to click that plus sign a bunch of times so I can read it. And this one starts with the head. Anyway, so I'm going to get started on this and get a few rows going, and then I can come back and chat. I was able to set some stitch markers up on this one to help me know when I needed to switch from single crochets to other. And like I said, the shape of this Wooble is quite different from the others, but I'm thinking it goes along the dinosaur type look. Fred the dinosaur. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Right now I'm just crocheting away. So while y'all are watching this video, I'm probably at the doctor's office because I have a doctor's appointment today, and so I need to talk to him about several things. One of them being, you know, tell him what's going on, just tell him to go on there and read my endoscope report and, you know, all that is going on, why they couldn't put the GJ tube in, all that kind of stuff, and you know that they put this drain bag on me, and let him know that it's not draining. It's only drained about 5 days since I've had it. The rest of the time it's not draining. So I don't really know what to do about that. I've tried to figure it out. I've tried different things. Every now and then it'll just start draining, and then when I change it again, like to take it off to do meds and formula and all that, and then hook back up to it, it doesn't drain. So it's kind of weird, but I'll tell him all that and see. Maybe he could call over to the surgery team and see what they got to say about it. Because the thing is, it's supposed to be draining so that it gives my esophagus and stomach time to heal. When I go back for my scope on August the 18th, we're hoping that my esophagus and stomach is healed enough to do something else, the next step. And if it doesn't heal, then I'm just stuck in that position, and then they're going to want to like start removing things, and I'm not up for that. Now, while I was fixing a stitch issue, Sassy decided that she should come and keep me company. She's really wanting some loving. Like, I don't know how much loving this cat actually needs in a day. Like, she needs to be stuck to me 24/7. She just cannot get enough. She really just thinks we're one together. If I lay in the bed, she lays right there with me. facing me, just like if I'm in the chair, she's laying there, up there on me. If I'm in here, she's on my desk. If I go get in the shower, she sits in the bathroom waiting on me. If I go to the bathroom, she goes with me. I just don't know what this cat wants. Huh, Sassy? When she first got up here, she started to play with a stitch marker. Then she changed her mind and just laid down. Huh, Sassy? And let's see, where we at? All right. Huh. That row I tried to do and talk and could not. Obviously, I messed up my stitch count. So, I'm on track again now. I had to count it out again and work it. Let me see. Sassy, you done took my pattern off, baby. She's like, I don't care, woman. I don't care. It's not about the pattern. It's about me. Huh, Sassy? Let me see. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna have to set this up because it is a lot of, single crochets and then increasing and such. So, but it's not a circle. It is coming out to be more of a different little shape. You can tell it's not, it's wider out here. The shape is forming to make Tony the rat. I need to, so I just kind of count out a lot of times. I will go ahead and count out my stitches. I need to do 7 single crochets. And so sometimes, if I'm don't want to like pay a lot of attention. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I definitely cannot count and crochet at the same time. And then I would do an increase. So I'm going to count those out while I do it. I'm not going to count the whole thing out at one time. Oh, sassy girl. But anyway, so what I was about to say is that I'm at the doctor's office today and I've got things to talk to him about, check on for me, and just see why some things are happening the way they're happening. But definitely the first thing I want to know is, why isn't this tube draining? It's not clogged. It flushes medicine fine. It's not clogged at all. I don't know. I've messed with the positioning over and over and over till I'm just fed up with it. I'm over it. But yet, at the same time, I do want my esophagus and stomach to heal up from all the ulcers, so that maybe, whenever she does that scope, it'll be healed some. Because I do not want to have my esophagus removed. I don't want that. I want to get better and not deal with that, because just sounds horrible to me. And the recovery on that, it's not easy either. They had wanted to do that before, and my doctor, the one I'm seeing today, he said he had talked to the Shreveport doctor and they mentioned that and went on about it, and then he said that is a hard recovery and you already have a lot going on. So he didn't recommend it then, and I don't recommend it now. I don't know. I'll tell him about it tomorrow and see what he says. I mean, I just really don't want to go that route. Now, if I was to the point where they said, okay, and, we kind of talked about these scenarios, like Barrett's esophagus and cancer can set up in that, I guess I would say do it. But it is a situation where, tell me how it's going to make my life better situation. Right. I think I got 8. I only need 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4 over. Okay, so I would do it under those circumstances, but I really need them to say those words to me. I can't count. I can't count. Sassy, are you messing up my Crojo and my counting here? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count it one way and it's one number. Count it the other way and it's another number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Come on now. Quit playing me. Anyway, so that's the only way I would like want to have that done is if they said those words to me and said that it had to be done. So we've kind of talked about that, but not in the statement of it has to be done. We've talked about it and it's a possibility. So I am, really hoping my esophagus and stomach would heal up some so that would not be on the table for discussion anymore. So I don't know how this is going to heal though if it's not draining. So I'm going to talk to him about that. And also my leakage that I'm having. Every time I bend over, my nose starts draining. It's not sinuses. I have a feeling I know what it is, but we'll wait and see. Ugh. Sassy, you just got a lot going on up here, baby. She's like just watching me. You going to sleep? Oh, she's like, yes, Mom, pet me, pet me. Oh, poor baby, don't get no loving. Alright, I think I counted this off. I didn't count backwards though. Why did I do that? Is that different or the same? I can't tell. Okay, that is a new one over there, right? I think it's easy to miss that very first stitch if you're not paying attention. You could easily miss that because I kind of miss it when I'm counting sometimes. So I hope you're having a great Wednesday. We've made it to the hump day, the middle of the week. So now it's just downhill to the weekend, right? Big Daddy's still working at his old job, putting in his 2 weeks notice. He'll be there all week, and then next week he will miss Thursday though because I have an appointment, an infusion in Shreveport, and that's an all day in the chair thing, getting that infusion. But he can take his laptop and work. He can set up and work while we're there. That's what he normally does. right. Oops. Now I just need to see if there's 7 stitches right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an increase. It sure enough is. Whew. So I got this little row out of the way. Well, let's see. Oh, I was going to show y'all something that Zeke kind of put together for me. He collects the Lego minifigs, and he got one that he gave to me. So I think she's a crazy cat lady. I think that's what she's supposed to be. Just 1 second and I'll show her to you. Whew. Okay. That is the end of this row. And I'm wore out. I'm wore out just getting that little bit done. Alright, let's see. This is what Zeke brought me today. Where's it at? Okay. It is I guess it's a grandma. She's got gray hair. She has on a sweater. There's a cat in front of her, and she has her yarn. So she's like a crocheter. And she has white on her pants, like it's cat fur on her pants. Now I'm gonna look over this with a magnifying glass and see. Yep, she has cat fur on the front of her pants, as if the cat shed on her, and then she has her sweater she made with the cats on it, and her leftover yarn right here. And she has the gray yarn, so I guess Zeke thought that was me. I mean the gray hair. So Zeke thought that was me, and that he brought me my minifig. My mini-me minifig. Except she's got a white cat, and I have a black cat and a black and white cat. But I thought that was sweet of Zeke to think about me, to bring me this Lego minifig. I think those are in blind bags, and you don't know which one you're getting. And so he ended up getting this one. Definitely, brought it to me. At first I just thought he was showing it to me, and I was telling him that's cool. And then I realized he was giving it to me, and I was like, oh, this is mine? And he said, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you. It is cool to have a little minifig of me. Let's set that right up there. Now I've got 2 rows of just single crochet, so rows 7 and row 8 to do. And I can talk and crochet single crochets and no increases. So no increases that and I mean not no, it's the increases and the decreases that I can't keep up with and talk at the same time. Sassy acts like she hears somebody coming. I don't know about that, Sassy. Think you're dreaming. You're dreaming, Sassy. I like this. I hope this Tony the rat turns out cute. I like it. And it actually goes with the pigeon. It's a whole little set. I forgot what they're called. It actually was an April Fool's joke. And then so many people liked them that they turned it into a set. So it comes with the pigeon, the rat, and a roach. So that's what I ended up with Mother's Day. And yeah. I'm crocheting it. Because you know what? That's right up my alley. You know, anything weird, funny, weird, whatever, strange. I like strange stuff. Sassy. My son Dakota and Carlton are going to Tennessee this weekend. Carlton, I don't know if he's teaching in Tennessee or I think he's teaching some stuff. Some workshops or whatever. He'll be teaching some classes, I guess. And so Dakota's going along for the trip. Hope they have fun. I know they will. Well, rounding that up a little bit. Sassy has just made herself comfortable and went to sleep. She's okay as long as she's close by me. A lot of times, though, she does want to be touching. But she's good. Just being close by me most of the time. Oh, Sassy. She's sure is sweet. And Sissy is coming around to be a sweet little kitty. She's come up and letting Paige pet her a couple of times. Now, she don't like just stand there for some petting. She's like, okay, touch me. Okay, that's good. You touched me. You don't need to do anything else. So she's coming around a little bit. It's kind of odd to see her actually coming out when people are here. But Paige is real calm and talks softly. And she doesn't like when people talk loud. Big Daddy. She likes Big Daddy, but then she's also skittish of him a little bit because she's not sure. Now, he's loud and he doesn't think about him walking through the house with a rolled up news magazine, popping stuff as he's walking through the house with it. He doesn't think about that scares the cats. And then he's like, why won't they come to me? I'm like, because you're not consistent. Because you're crazy. You make a lot of noise. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, he did this one day. I saw him walking through the house, and he was just popping, he had a rolled-up magazine, and he's just popping along, hitting the piano, hitting the wall, hitting the countertop, you know, just whatever. And the cats all took off running. They didn't want no part of that, and I don't blame them. You know, they don't like sudden loud noises or things like that. So they're kind of unsure of him. Now, if any of them's going to come around, it's this one. She will go in there to him sometimes. But still, she's a little skittish at times too. Because she just don't know what he's fixing to do. He's not mean to the cats or anything like that. He's just not aware of how loud he is and how much noise he makes. And speaking of that, twice I have been with him when he has been with other people and they were talking to him and he did not give answers that matched their questions. And I'm like, what? What did he say? Why did he say that? That's not even what they're talking about. And later I'd find out, oh, he forgot his hearing aids. So Sunday night, I was like, look, I made this little sign. I'm going to put it on the front door here. You know, because you need to remember to get your hearing aids. A lot of times he would just leave the house and forget to get them. And I'm like, you can't do that. You need to hear what people are saying. So he wasn't offended. I was afraid he's going to be a little offended by it. but he wasn't. He's like, okay, good, maybe that'll help me remember him. Then he said at his work, going out of his office door, he had to put a note there reminding him to get his car keys and his phone, because sometimes he'll get out to his car and he won't have his car keys. He has his work keys instead. And then sometimes he, forgets his phone and has to go back in and get it. So he did put his own self some notes, and I didn't know that, out inside his office, so he can see that when he's going out the door. So when I told him about my idea of putting this at our door, he welcomed it. I thought he might be a little offended by it, but he wasn't. He knows he can't hear. But he also is like, you're going to have to speak louder. You're going to have to talk. And I'm like, dude, with my esophagus, this is the loudest I'm going to get. It's just not, I'm not going to be screaming. This is it. It's probably going to, get even softer. So you need to wear your hearing aids. Now, when he comes home from work, he takes them off because he's just heard enough for the day. Sometimes he gets like overload. And he's not used to hearing every little noise. And with the hearing aids, it does pick up all the little noises. So sometimes when he gets home, he does, just take them out to chill and get some quietness or whatever. But I've been with him 2 different times where people were talking to him and what he said back to them did not even go with what they're talking about. Now, he does me like that all the time, but that's different. That's different, because I know he can't hear and I'm not going to hold it against him. But other people might be like, what is he talking about? We're talking about this and all of a sudden he just changed the subject and started talking about something else. It's because he don't know what they're talking about to begin with. Bless his heart. So, if he'll just wear his hearing aids every day, he'll be good. So hopefully my little note, it didn't even help him. Monday morning, that note was there. He was going out the door. And then I just said, I don't even know why I said it, but I said, so you got your hearing aids? And he's like, no. And he turned around and had to go get them. And that was the note there. I don't know, that poor man. Sassy, I think you done laid on my mouse and changed the computer screen over there. So I'm going to have to go find my pattern to see what I am supposed to do next. Let me just pull my stitch out a little bit and see how this is shaping up. It's okay, Sassy. That was the AC kicking on. Alright, let's see what we got. Looks like the head of Tony the Rat. I have to find my pattern again because Sassy lost it for me. I don't even know how to get out of this, Sassy. How'd you do this? Well, cancel. Okay. Wow. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to keep moving forward on my rat, Tony the Rat, and see how it comes along. Sassy's staring because the AC, the compressor kicked on the AC, and now she's like watching to see if something's just going to come through the door there. You're a good girl. You're good. Nothing's coming for you. No. So I'm still crocheting on Tony the rat and making a go at that. Big Daddy came home from work and we've been back there talking and chatting and figuring out what we needed to do for certain things, and you know, just good conversation, working as a team. So anyway, you know, Big Daddy had gave a 2 weeks notice to his job, but that 2 weeks notice was not an okay to treat me like crap for 2 weeks, right? Yeah, it's a very hostile environment, and just you know, being very ugly to Big Daddy. His co-workers are all like, you know, congratulations, I'm glad you're moving on to bigger and better things, and you know, you deserve it, that's awesome, you know. But that's not what's happening with the higher ups, you know. Of course they're mad because Big Daddy's leaving. Something they thought would never happen. And so it's kind of a little hostile environment there. But they did take his job and split it up between many different people. Like, for real. Like 4 different people so far have received his jobs. And so that's kind of unreal, you know, like, so it's taking 4 people to replace him. It's just crazy. That is just crazy. 6. Okay, so, yeah. So anyway, he and I talked about it, and I was like, why don't you check on a few things? And so he talked with the business manager, and she said, well, actually, you know, today is the last day of that pay period, so why don't you just end it today, and that way, you know, it'll just make things easier on everybody all the way around, ending it on that pay period. And so that's what he decided to do. So he let them know tonight that today was his last day, that, you know, after talking with the business manager, that they decided that's what was easiest. And this way he can go on to work for the new company, because they are waiting on him. They had told him, you know, he could start as soon as he can. So, and he has a lot of work to do over there to get that place certified, and you know, to be able to open and stuff. So anyway, today was his last day at his job, which is scary. Also, I ain't gonna lie, it's a little bit scary, but also it's the right thing to do. And just because he is leaving in 2 weeks, that doesn't give them the right to be ugly to him and treat him like, you know, dirt, because he's leaving. So yeah, if you can't act right, you know, that's on you. He tried to do what he felt like was the right thing, even though everybody was like, they wouldn't give you 2 weeks. But no, they wouldn't have. But he wanted to give them 2 weeks and do the right thing, but they're just acting very hostile and treating him very badly. So yeah, he helped one of the persons that's going to take on one of his main jobs. He kind of helped him and walked him through some things today. And Big Daddy didn't get any kind of training when he stepped into that position. He had to figure it out on his own. So he feels like this guy, you know, gave him a lot of heads up and material and where to start and how to find out more information and stuff like that. So he did give him a big jump. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That way I can keep up with my stitches or what I'm doing, hopefully. Hopefully I can talk and do that at the same time. This is a test, okay? We're putting me to the test. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, tomorrow, Big Daddy is going to take me to my doctor's appointment. He's already put in a call to the new place and just waiting to hear back from them. Like, I'm available when you want me to start. So, he's going to take me to my doctor's appointment tomorrow, which I'm very, very glad that he's going to do that. I am doing some increases now. We've went in and made the neck, and now we're doing increases all the way around. And you know, I just wonder something real quick. I'm gonna start this row over because I'm not sure. Oh, Phoebe, you wanting to come see Mommy? Oh, come here, baby. Oh, my Phoebe's wanting to come see Mommy. Here you go. Oh my goodness, you want to get up on my desk? Want to get up there and look around? See what you see? What do you see? Phoebe's my 4-year-old Chihuahua. She is a spoiled little mess. Big Daddy calls her a rat. He says, come on, little rat. She loves her Big Daddy, though. He feeds her. You know, I don't have anything to feed her. She don't want to eat anything I have. But she likes to go back there with her Big Daddy when he's eating dinner because he sneaks her bites. Doesn't he, Phoebe? Your Big Daddy sneaky bites. Yeah. I know. He's no good. Peekaboo. I looked over my phone at her. You can lay down. You want to lay down? What is it, little girl? Are you Mama's sport baby? Who's my baby, Phoebe or Sassy? It's Phoebe. It's Phoebe. Phoebe's my baby. Yes, you are. Phoebe's my baby. She is spoiled. Very, very spoiled. Yes, you are. Oh, she's like, oh, pet me. I'll pet you some more. She didn't want me to stop. Did you? Now, who do you like to come visit us? Do you like for Paige to come? Phoebe, do you like for Paige to come over? She looked at the front door. Do you like it when Paige comes? What about, do you like it when Zeke comes? Where's Zeke? Huh? Is Zeke coming? No, not tonight. Zeke's not coming tonight. What about, do you like for Dakota to come? Is Dakota going to come see you? Not tonight. Not tonight. I'm sorry. What about, do you like for Elijah to come? Where's Elijah? Huh? Do you like for Elijah and Ginger to come? I've already explained to her that Django won't be coming to see her anymore. Django was Elijah's dog that passed away. And I told her all about Django passed away and he won't be coming home anymore. But you want to see Elijah and Ginger, huh? Yeah, they're not coming tonight, though. Hopefully soon. We've got to go see him, or he's got to see us, because I miss my baby. What about Dakota? Do you miss Dakota? She's looking at that door, waiting to see if somebody's coming in. I'm sorry. Nobody's coming. But you can go back there and see Big Daddy. You want to go see Big Daddy? Where's Daddy? Where's your daddy at? Where's your deadbeat daddy? When he comes in from work, she starts howling like she's so excited when he gets home. If he doesn't pet her, I'll tell her something about her deadbeat daddy. But usually he goes and puts his bag down, his lunch bag, and whatever he's got in his hands, and then he comes back and pets her. And I'll say, oh, here comes your deadbeat daddy. He's coming back to pet you. What is it? What is it? Where's your deadbeat daddy? Huh? Where's deadbeat daddy at? See, I got a good daddy. I got a good daddy. He gives me, sneaks me bites of his food. Yeah. He does. He shares some chicken with you. You like chicken? Oh, yeah, I likes chicken. Oh, come on. Come on. You want to get down? Go see your daddy? She's looking to see if he's going to come in here. Daddy's not coming. Oh. That's Mama's baby. Her sweet girl. Yes, who is. Her sweet baby. Love my little girl. Her spoiled as can be. Aren't you, Phoebe? Are you spoiled? Are you spoiled? Yes, you are. I came this close to getting another dog. I had looked on Facebook during the night, and a friend of mine had posted that a dog was dropped off at their house. It was a female, medium-sized dog, and gosh, I came that close to messaging her, and I was like, well, I do this all the time. Like, I want another dog. Like, I just love dogs, okay? But then I don't really need another animal to tend to. Thankfully, Phoebe and the cats know how to tend to themselves. Right, Phoebe? You can tend to yourself? Yeah. And Sissy and Sassy can tend to themselves. So I like those self-sufficient dogs. And so, hold on, you knocked my cat came out. Let me put my cat back over here. And so, I always, think, oh, I would like another dog. Because, I mean, I'm used to having a house full of dogs. When we had Dakota's dogs, Elijah's dogs, my dog, and mixed cats up in that because Dakota had a cat. But, it's been kind of lonely since the kids moved out. We only have one dog. Huh, Phoebe? And then I got the cats really for her because she acted very lonely and depressed. And I really got the cats for her to have somebody to play with because she used to play with Dakota's cat, Monty, and she played with Django. And so she just acted all sad, and that's why I really originally got cats. But anyway, so I was looking on Facebook and saw that my friend, somebody had dropped a dog off at their house at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and she had been trying to find a owner for it for last week, or no, since early July, like 2 weeks now. And so she's been trying to find an owner. She doesn't want to take it to the pound because it's a kill shelter. It is, they do put animals to sleep, so she don't want to take it there. And she's just, says it's a very sweet dog. She's too sweet to go to the pound. And she's good with cats, good with other dogs, and, all this. And I'm just like, oh, I came so close. And now it's like, okay, let me just wait, and I'll see how I feel about it in the morning. Thankfully, I waited. Because in reality, I don't need something to tend to. And I don't know how she would be about house training and all that kind of stuff. But it was a girl dog. What are you doing? All right, come on. Come on. No, you don't want to get down? Okay, well, I got to crochet, okay? I need to crochet. Are you going to stay on my desk? What you want to look at? Huh? Do you want to look at a platypus? Platypus? Really don't want you biting on that. It's mine. She loves toys. Oh my gosh. She loves toys so much. You like a good toy, don't you? Where is your toys? Huh? You like your toys? She loves toys. And when I come in from town, she loves to look in my bags and see if there's a toy for her. So when I go to Dollar Tree, I try to pick her up something. A little stuffed animal or a little toy. Not all the time. Sometimes I just come home and grab one of her toys and act like it's a new toy. I don't know. She's probably on to me. Do you know that I do that trick on you? Where I pretend one of your toys is a new toy? Did you know that? Yeah, you probably already knew that, didn't you? Okay, we gotta say bye to the peoples. Say bye. Say bye. Oh, I'm such a baby. I'm such a baby. Here's Mama's baby. Yes, her is. Anyway. She's not finished getting her lovin's. But I need to crochet, Phoebe. I need to crochet. All right, you girl. All right, baby. All right, I pulled that out so that I could kind of restart it and keep up with kind of what I'm doing a little bit better, because after I got going, I thought, did I do that first stitch right? But I did. But sometimes it's, if you second guess yourself, sometimes it's best to check. But then if you second guess yourself all the time, then, it just slows things down. But I'm anxious to get Tony the rat made. Oh, almost skip. Yeah, so me and Big Daddy are going to go to my doctor's appointment. That's what we're doing today while you're watching this video, actually. And I'm hoping to get sent to the surgery team and they can change my tube out for me. I feel like it needs changing. Me and Paige was doing some things with it yesterday, and we kind of felt like it has a tiny hole in it. So maybe they'll just listen to me and do it, or maybe they can find the hole themselves. I think it's a tiny hole, because it doesn't always leak, but sometimes it does. And when we were doing the plunger part on the syringe, it was kind of acting like it was getting a lot of air in there, so we think it is a hole. So Big Daddy said, tell Paige not to worry about coming tomorrow. He'll do my medicines in the morning before we leave, which is a whole big deal, and he is not as fast as she is, and so we better start on that early. We better get up an hour early for that. But I am thankful. I'm very, very thankful that he's, willing to try, because sometimes, it's the tube fitting part just is not for him. It's not. It's really, really not. And I get it. There's some things that I'm not for either. Try and put one more stitch in that. Okay, we should have one more to do. It worked out just right. Don't you feel like you really achieved something when your stitches work out perfectly? It's like, I made it. Yes. Sometimes they don't, and I'm like, oh well, it's just an amigurumi. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Until it's not. That's a new saying in our house. It'll be okay until it's not. And that deals with a lot of different things. Alright, so I did that. Surely we're going to put some eyes in this thing soon. Tony's going to need some eyes and some stuffing. And so now we're increasing, going back to the belly part of him. So since today is Whip Wednesday, not only tell us what your whip is for the day, also tell us, do you have a pet? How many pets do you have? And what's their names? I always like to know pets' names. And do you give pets silly names, or do you give pets human names? I've done both. We've done it both ways before. Sometimes I like human names, sometimes I like silly names. It just depends. So we just, after you meet the dog, really, is that how you go about giving dogs names? Like with Phoebe, I had a list of names that I liked picked out, and me and my friend Angela and my youngest son Elijah, we went to go pick her up. And on the way there, I was going over the names that I had wrote down, and they were, you know, like no, no, no on certain names, you know. And then out of the names that I had left when we got there, the Phoebe just fit her. And when I got her, she had a pink nose. She had a very, very pink nose, but it got darker over time, but I really loved that pink nose. And the Phoebe just fit her. I don't remember all the other names I had picked out, but Phoebe fit her, and that was just her name. Now, before Phoebe, I had a little Chihuahua that I adopted from the shelter, the pound, and named her Sophia. I don't know, I like giving Chihuahuas Mexican names. We've had, you know, I have Phoebe. I've had a Sophia. I've had a Pedro. We had a Jose. I've had a Consuela. So I just like giving Mexican dogs, I mean, you know, Chihuahuas Mexican names. I don't know. It's just something I've always done. But Phoebe's my girl. All the way. She is my girl. When it thunders or starts lightning and all that, she's got to come to her mommy. Anyway, I guess I scrolled down to see the eyes are going to come, but the next row is a decrease, but I think I'm going to put the eyes in before that because I don't need this hole to get smaller and then me trying to fit my hands up in there to put the eyes. So I think I'm just going to do the eyes right after this. So Tony can start seeing what is going on and see this crazy desk that he's going to live on. I have a lot going on here on my desk, and I usually like a clean slate. Like, I don't like any clutter on my kitchen countertops. I don't like clutter on tables or, you know, things like that. But for some reason, it's okay here on my desk. I think it's because all these things really just make me smile and give me something to, you know, smile about and be happy about. So I think that's why I'm okay with the clutter here on my desk. Some days it does get too much and it's like, okay, there's a lot of clutter here. And I just move everything off and then put back a few things. And then a few days later, I might let a few more things creep back in. Big Daddy just went on to bed, and I said, I'm going to finish this video so I can get it put up for Wednesday because we don't know how long it's going to take us at the hospital tomorrow. It could take a few minutes. It could take a whole day. You never can tell. Alright. I'm going to look and see about his eyes. So I got my eyes out. And so somebody asked me a good question about the eyes that I thought I would answer. First off, I did turn this lamp off because it was just helping me see a little bit better when I was doing some stitches. But somebody asked me about the eyes. I was using this tool, and they asked why I was using that tool to put the eyes in instead of hot gluing the eyes in. And that's a good question. Now, this is for me personally to go on my desk. It's not going to anybody else, so I'm not worried about I'm not worried about it coming out or a baby chewing on it or anything like that. I'm definitely not going to be chewing on my amigurumi. So, if I was sending it out in the open and I don't know who's going to end up with it, I most likely would. Now, did I drop that? I bet I did. Nope, there it is. Okay. I couldn't see these little white pieces on there. And I tell you what, we bought some clear spoons. They're just clear spoons at Dollar Tree. And that's what we use, is clear spoons and clear forks. Plastic, you know. Sometimes if they just have the white ones, we get the white. But if they only have the clear, we get the clear. And so anyway, I bought the clear ones and I got me a spoon down. I do this all the time. I'll get me a spoon. I'll get me a spoon out, and I'll be doggone, I lay it on the counter, and I cannot find it because it's like invisible. I'm like trying to find my invisible spoon all the time. So what was I saying? Oh, sometimes I will hot glue and put the eyes in like this if I don't know who it's going to go to. But since I know exactly where this is going to live. Okay, so this is the front, and this is the back, but that's not necessarily the center of the back, because then it sets this off. So you just have to kind of guess at it. Ugh, I hate that part of having to guess. And it says to leave about 8 spaces in between. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going that way. No. I went back one right here. And let's see, we're gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That looks a little off, like if this is the center, then that is off, but that's not necessarily the center. I'm making it up. Let me look at Tony and see. He's not really looking out to the side. He's looking straight. I'm talking about his eyes are not on the side of his head. They're more, well, I guess, you know what? I think this is going to work. Let me just set it down. I'm just going to do it because, yeah. See, sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that might be more the center. Or really, just right here, these 2 stitches are the center of it to me, from what I can see looking at it, right? I know you can't really tell from camera, but I'm just talking. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it said 8, and that's really 9, but you can't really center that up any other way. So I'm going to try to pick up an eye, and hopefully I don't drop my eyes again. Put that eye in there. I don't want to put the back on just yet because I want to look at it. I want to look at it with both eyes in it to get a little bit better feel. I think it's going to work. If it doesn't, you know, it's just an amigurumi. I hope you're all having a great day, no matter what you're doing. I hope I'm having a great doctor's appointment while you're watching this. I probably will be recording some at the hospital or whatever, figuring out what we're doing. I did not even get that on there. It's hard to... It's just hard to do sometimes. Okay, it snapped on that time. Alright. Can y'all see what I'm doing? So that was my answer about the eyes. Sometimes I hot glue, sometimes I don't. Kind of depends on if I know who it's going to or what, you know, or what kind of project it is. If it's... Now I can put some stuffing in that. Let me put my needles back up. Try to clean up after myself a little bit. I just saw something in there that Big Daddy done and don't even know he done and did not clean it up because he actually hid the papers from himself. I was in the kitchen and he was standing in the living room, dining room, and he was reading something off some papers for me. Talking to me, or he was reading papers to me. Insurance type papers. And so he was reading something and then I was like, hey, can you come here and do this? And so he laid that down. He came into the kitchen and done something for me, and then he just went on about the thought of those papers and what he was doing and where he put them. He laid those papers on top of a lamp, and I saw that as soon as I went back in there and sat down. I was like, he put them papers up on top of that lamp. And didn't think another thing about them. They went right out of his mind. So, trying to be intentional about cleaning up and putting things away where they belong. I'm going to go ahead and start stuffing Tony. I love it when little characters and things like this have names, because I'll say that name 100 times until it is embedded in my brain, and so that will just be Tony. Like, that's Martha. That's Luna. That's Jojo. That's Henry. I love it whenever these little things, scenes like this have names, and I just call them their name like they're real things, you know. And like my little Susie Sad-Eye dolls, you know, I was saying their names the other day. And somebody said they got a kick out of that. But yeah, they have names and personalities. And with my Etsy, I am trying to move to a new adventure on there where I am posting more photos and doing more little stories and such. And I may end up putting all that together to create something. Who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? But I have some things I want to try, and I have some goals that I'm trying to get to in my doll photography. And so, just playing around with that. Okay, so there's Tony's head. I would say that might be a little bit off. Maybe not too much, but it could be. We'll see how it ends up. Tony. Okay, so now I need to start decreasing again. Wow, this is like decrease, increase, decrease. But it helps get that shape. The shape that we are wanting, which is very much close to Fred the Dino and my capybara shape. Can y'all see how this shape is looking like that shape? Yeah, so I did this a good while back, and it's looking like the same shape there, pretty much. Still haven't put the ears on him. Goodness, because I had to go get that brown yarn. I had to go in there and get this yarn to come back and put the ears on him, and I've just been so lazy about that. Maybe I'll make that a goal this weekend. I don't know. I need to do it though. Okay, so I gotta do this 8 times. So I need 8 stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, stitch markers are great for doing, you know, counting down how many little stitch sets you need. 7, 8, 8. Okay. But also, M&M's is more fun because you get to eat one, especially if they melt in your mouth. You get to eat one every time you finish your little set. So this I'm doing 2 single crochets. Oops. Uh-oh. I can just redo that. Hope I'm on screen. I'm doing 2 single crochets, and then I'm doing a decrease. And so that is the first set. And I just moved that out of the way. But see, if it was an M&M, I could eat it. Wouldn't that be more fun? Yeah. And you have to make sure you go into the next stitch. Alright, and the decrease. I think I was going to do the decrease. So 2 decrease, 2 decrease. I'm right. And then these are fun little makes, which I know there's tons of little amigurumis. It's Stringy Ding Ding, and somebody asked for her link. It's stringydingding.com. Very easy to find. stringydingding.com. She has tons of little amigurumis over there. So check out her little group. You got lots of little free amigurumis on there. And those do have, you know, like advertisements on it. If you want one without, you can purchase her PDFs and download them or print them or whatever. And her patterns are very cheap anyway, if you want to go that route. And she also has a little membership thing where I think it's like $6 a month, and you get some freebie patterns and such. And you also can get some of her old patterns in PDF form. I know I say her name. I mean, I say that website a lot. stringydingding.com. So check it out. Okay, I got like 2 more. Do I have something after this? No, and it did not work out. I don't think so. I hope I'm not off count. Which it would probably be a mess up on this row, because I think the last... Let me see, I may not even be. I might be fretting for no reason. 1, 2... yeah, I'm fretting for no reason. It's my last one right here. 1... 2, it just looked like a lot left. and then a decrease. The one before and the one I had the stitch marker in. And then I put my stitch marker back. Some people like to put their stitch markers at the beginning of the row. Some people like it at the end of the row. There's no right or wrong reason. I mean, there's no right way or wrong way. You just, whatever way you learned and you're comfortable doing, do it. Don't let anybody try to change how you crochet. Do whatever is comfortable to you. Alright, and now I just get to single crochet all the way around because I've already put my eyes in. And I'm glad I did that before I decreased a row because I had a hard enough time getting my big old hands in there. So, I really wanted to finish Tony up today, but I don't know. Let's see what else I got. You know, I might be getting close. I still got his ears and all that, though. But we'll see. And then next up is probably going to be Tony and Martha's friend. I don't know his name yet, but they have a friend. They are a trio that will probably hang out with larvae. I imagine she can show them the ropes in downtown where to find the good stuff. Oh, my imagination just kind of runs wild sometimes. But yeah, I think they will make friends with larvae. There's larvae, and then there's Martha. And Tony the rat can hang out with larvae. And the next one definitely will be a friend of larvae's. This little body here looks like it's ending kind of abruptly. I mean, I have this row to go and basically 2 more rows. And it's done. But with his body. Then I gotta do his head, his ears. What else does he have? Where are you at? His bag. Yeah, he's got ears, arms, and a tail, and a little bitty bit for a nose, which I could have put one of those little pink safety things in for a nose. But I guess I'll go ahead and just embroider it. And almost done with him. Thank you all for hanging out with me today while I've been working on Tony the rat. Yep. I think this is the first time I've made a... Well, I have done a mouse before. It was one of Stringy Ding Ding's little patterns for a little tiny mouse that went with a kitten doll. It was a mama kitten and she had some babies. And then I crocheted a little mouse for the little babies to chase or whatever. You know, just to go with them, whatever. Alright, so now I'm supposed to decrease again. No, yeah. Single crochet decrease 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. My little white ball's getting smaller. Okay, so I have seen now that the yarn at Hobby Lobby is called Beginner Bee, and I will be checking that out. This is not my week for Hobby Lobby's yarn to be on sale, but it will be next week. So next week I'm going and I'm gonna get, I think they had 9 colors, but I don't want the black, so I'm only gonna buy the 8 colors and get that. So that's my plan for next week, is we will be going. We'll take a little field trip, go to Hobby Lobby and buy some of the Yarn Bee beginner yarn. Beginner Bee. I forgot what it's called, but I know what it looks like now. And we'll go get that next week. And then we'll be doing a lot more in this book also. I love that little book. These little projects are just, they're easy for me to be able to complete something and not have it like out there in, you know, the universe waiting on me to come back and finish it. So I like that. These are small, easy to finish, and with my health issues, I'm just going to be honest with you. A large project is very daunting to me right now. Not that I don't have any large projects back there that need to be finished. I do, but I just don't want to start any new large projects. I'm just not in the mood to work on things that are going to take me forever to make. I like these little small... I like little small things that I'm most likely going to be able to complete. And all my friends out there that have chronic illnesses and hand issues, you know exactly what I'm saying. Sometimes it's hard to start something and not knowing if you're going to actually be able to finish it. But I'm thankful for these little patterns. And I know there's tons of other little patterns out there too, such as String-a-Ding-Ding has a lot of things. But I'm just like, this little size has really got me. Did I decrease maybe? I don't know. This size of these has really helped me. And then one more, a single crochet and then a decrease. Alright, that worked out. I guess it worked out. I don't know. I think I might have not have moved my things around as much as I needed to. But it's okay. That was the next to the last row. So now I need to stuff him some more. Alright, I'm gonna put some more stuffing up in Tony. Oh, he's cute. He's cute. I really like him. And he was, you know, relatively simple to make. You just have to follow the instructions and keep up with what row you're on. There's nothing hard about him. Just some increases and decreases. And I am going to start my little series of learning to crochet in August. That's my plan. And so I have a whole little series. I'm going to call it and do all that kind of stuff. So it'll be out there. But I'll also be doing other videos along at the same time. That's not going to be my only videos because some of you guys already know how to video and might not want to watch a video learning to crochet. So we'll still have our crocheting chats. Those won't be chatty as much, you know. There'll be more of learning to crochet. Alright, a little more in just the belly. I got the head done well. Now the belly needs a little more. And this is the last row right here, is to decrease all the way around. And then I can probably add a little more stuffing in there before I close it up. So I'm just going all the way around with some decreases. But the thing on that is you got to make sure, like this loop right here, let me go down just a little bit. It's white yarn, so you can't really tell. It's this hole right here that is part of that decrease. So you have to move over a stitch. And sometimes if you're not paying attention, I've done it plenty of times, by not paying attention, I was putting a single crochet back in that and then decrease it. I've done that before, and that just makes sure it doesn't decrease you. It makes you keep going and going forever. And did I do that as a single crochet? Because I'm just supposed to be decreasing, no single crochets. Yeah. We all mess up and make mistakes. And I don't want to ever, ever, ever act like I'm perfect, because I am not. By no means. You're getting the real deal here, okay? All my flaws are on camera for your viewing pleasure. Okay, I got 2 more decreases. We'll go ahead and take that out. Okay, 2. Well, that's 1. This one will be 2. All right, now, well, you little rat. Okay, so I'm gonna cut me some yarn. I'm gonna leave a little tail. I'm trying to be not so stingy with my tails, because sometimes I'm just like, I hate to leave too much of my tail. I need to see if Big Daddy can sharpen these. That's what I need him to do. Just sharpen those for me. Alright. Yep, let's stuff this hole. And I'm pushing stuffing out around, not just straight in. We want to fill it all the way to the sides. I do have a video in the description box below of how to properly stuff amigurumis. So if you just push it straight in, you're not filling out your project the best. And, you know, depending on how long you want your project to look good, because this stuff is going to settle over time, and you want it to, you know, remain looking nicely for a while, I guess. If you're making it for someone else, you especially do. If you're making it for yourself, you might not care how long it lasts and holds its shape well. So you always use more stuffing than you think you're going to use. And so I have filled out the circle, and then I made a hole in the very middle. So now I'm going to stuff that hole, because if I don't, that stuffing's just going to move to fill that hole, and then it's going to be all saggy and baggy. And we don't want no saggy baggy rat. Big Daddy held the door open. Okay, he cleaned out his office. He's been cleaning it out every day a little bit at a time. And today he got the rest of his stuff out of his office. And so tonight he held the front door open while he was bringing stuff in. And a lot of little moths and stuff like that seem to have got in. So you can see I'm putting a lot more stuffing in here than you probably would have thought would have went in. But I filled up that hole. It's nice and tight. Oh, Tony, you looking so cute. Let me get my favorite. Yeah, where's it at? I can't see. There it is. My favorite one over there. And let me get just a little something where I can mark my first one. That's just marking that I started right here. And I just put it low so my hook and stuff don't get tangled up in it. Not my hook, but my needle and thread. I don't want my thread to be snagging on it the whole time I am trying to finish that up. And this has ended up being quite a long video, and I apologize about that. But some people like long videos, some people like short videos. So I try to do, you know, a few different ones. I know for me, if I'm going to be crocheting on a project, I don't want to watch a 10-minute video and then have to find another video. I like a video I can hang with while I'm actually getting productive and getting my project done. If I have to look for a new video every 10 minutes, then I'm wasting time crocheting. So sometimes a good long video is very helpful, and sometimes a short video is helpful. So this is one of them long ones that maybe you got some work done while you was watching. Okay, so I've made it around because I'm back lined up with my little pin I did down here. So that's no longer useful. I closed it up. So when I went around, it kind of made a drawstring. And so there is my rat, but I'm going to take my tail here. See, I left a little more yarn than I really wanted to, because this yarn's precious. It is. This yarn is precious, and I don't want to waste any of it. But I need to tie this off really well. So I'm just going in holes and out holes. Now you don't, with this kind of yarn, you're not going to sew through the yarn. That's not even possible to sew through a tube. So you're just going in holes in between the yarn and such. And I wanted to just kind of use that all up so I didn't feel like I wasted it. Make myself feel better about that big old long strand I ended up with, right? Alright, I'm probably to the point where I can just, I could cut it, and I probably will. Let me just cut it. And then poke that down in there. Put my needle back up. Okay. Now, there's Tony. What's that? Piece of fuzz? Nope. I didn't poke that down there far enough. I thought I did. Oh, it's pulling it out, but I'm going to poke it way down in there. Okay. Ugh. Alright, so now we got to come up with Tony's ears and tail and hands. He's got 2 hands, 2 ears, and a tail, I believe. I just made a huge mess of my pink yarn. I took the label off and I was pulling the yarn out and I dropped it, and the way I picked it up, it all just fell apart because of the way I reached over and kind of hooked my pinky in a piece and just pulled it up. It just came all apart there. So I'll probably deal with some tangles later on in that, but I have my starting strand here. I don't think I need too big of a tail. Remember, I'm kind of stingy with this yarn. I don't remember seeing pink on the Hobby Lobby one. They probably did. They probably had it. I just don't remember seeing it. Anyway, I'm going to make ears. I got my little ears made. They were very, very quick makes. Simple. A little bit fidgety for me because there's no project to hold on to while I'm trying to get started. So I didn't want to record those issues because they're not really issues. They're my issues. They're not They're not the project's issues. They're, you know, me all the way. I'm just sticking this in here right there just to raise that up for me to be higher. And I'm going to try to tie this. I want to knot this, but also I don't want this big clump of yarn there. You know, to make the ears look funny. So I wanted it kind of to tie on the bottom, but it's not working out that way. It's not doing me any favors today. But let me see. Okay. That is one little ear, but I don't like that. I'm gonna try taking my tails out the bottom down here, because I don't want the end of my tails sticking out the front of the ear. So I am trying to get my yarn tails up here. I know, I'm just like probably doing this the hard way, but it's my way. I'm trying to just finish up because this is turned into a very long video, but I've enjoyed visiting with you guys. So, okay. So now that's the ear. And then this, I'm going to cut off. And I just hope they don't pop back up. But if they go back up in the ear, maybe it looks like some ear fuzz, some hair growing in the ear or something like that. Okay. I'm not going to mess with that ear. Same thing with this. I need to... And there's a lot of pink left over. Oh, I still got to do a tail and some arms. Yeah, that's right. Ah. Alright. Look at there. Alright. I tied the other one 2 times, so that's what I'm going for. It's already in a good spot, so I'm going to try to pull in my yarn through the eye of this. Alright, now, there we go. My little rat's ears. Tony has some ears now. And this is the part that will be hot glued on top of his head, so... Okay, I decided to go ahead and put my ears on because the next part is the arms, and it was talking about centering up something with the ears. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my little ears on. I have my hot glue gun warming up over here. I'm feeling the heat coming from it. And so I'm going to put my... I'm just going to put some glue on this bottom part right here and stick it on right there. So I'm gluing just some glue here and stick it on. It may not be exactly where I wanted it, but it's on there. I'll put a dot of glue right here under this first little, and then try to just pull that down. I should do it with a needle. Hold that down to the head. Okay, same thing with the other side. I'll glue that down about the same time. Pull that out so I can make sure I get it in the right little place. I hope I got it in the right place. Sometimes the ears and, you know, things on the head, horns and stuff like that can be hard to get them centered up so that they look the same, you know, on both sides. Okay, I think that's gonna work just fine. Yeah. So now Tony has ears. He still needs a nose. Let me see about the arms. I am working so hard at trying to get this done and finished up, and just taking you along on some of the little pieces. You know, I don't want to give their pattern away because that would not be fair, but you know, pieces that I could just crochet and talk at the same time. And you know, I like to record that so I can chat with you guys while I'm working. So anyway, I did one arm, and this is the second arm. These fiddly little pieces like this is kind of hard for me sometimes, but I can do it. I just might do it slower, and I might have to start over and stuff like that. But I got it, I got it. Let me see. Now, I'm just trying to make sure. Oh, my eyes are just like playing tricks on me here. My eyes are not wanting to cooperate, but I'm going to make them anyway. There we go. I got it. My pieces are just everywhere, but yeah, I gotta do something about them scissors. Somebody said you need some new scissors, but I think Big Daddy Mike can sharpen those. I hope so. I'm gonna tell him that is on his list of things to do. I have a long list of things that need to be done around here, but sometimes he can't do those things. We have to find someone that can, but he might can sharpen my scissors. Okay, so I'm going to tie that 2 times. And then I'm going to take the tails and hide them into the body, because I don't want frayed yarn right here in the front by his arms. And I should have looked at that before I tied it off and made sure it looked right. But why would I do that? Ugh. Okay, I'm trying to grab that yarn and pull it. It looks just fine. But I'm going to use my needle here to hide these 2 yarn tails down into the project before I clip them. And I could probably just come out the bottom somewhere, especially with that long one. And then I have one more. I was hoping I could do it. Let me get my yarn, my needle started. Then I can put my yarn through it. Sometimes we have to just do it the way we can. Now, I've got two tails sticking out here that I need to trim off. Okay. There we have our little arms. All right, Tony, now you need a tail, I believe. And he does have a piece of pizza that I'll probably do at a later time. Especially not this video. Half of you done fell asleep. Y'all wake up. Wake up, y'all. Let's see, what are we doing for the tail? Oh, I still gotta do the nose and mouth also. Okay, let me see about that. I need to find the center of this. I'm gonna say the center is about right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's a center. Probably these two right here. I think that would be. Okay, so I need to cut a piece of yarn. Again, I feel like I'm wasting it. Okay. It doesn't have to be too long, but it needs to be long enough. Okay. Let me put me something else. I'm going to use my needle that I like to use. Right there. And come off to the side over there. We're going to come in over here. And come out that hole. We're going to leave a little tail there to work with. Let's see, it might look off center from there. I'm going to try it. I can always pull it out and move it over, but I don't know if that's going to be centered or not. See, I struggle. Get off the struggle bus. Okay. Let me see if that's going to look centered enough. I think it does. I really think it does. So I'm going to do that one more time. The same holes just to give it another little loopity-loop there. It's supposed to be 2 yards thick right there. And then we're just going to go in. I might do it one more time. If I go in there, it's off. If I go over here, it's off. There's no center under that. And theirs looked like it had a perfect center up under it. Either way, it looks like mine's off to one side. You know how when you're crocheting, you know, they don't just line up like that, especially when you're crocheting in a spiral. His mouth might just be a little crooked, so I need to bring this needle out the same hole that I started in. And we're just going to see how that looks. Oh, no way. No way does that even look good. So what I'm going to try to do is something, if I bring that down, if I bring that yarn down on the top, I wonder if I can make it look centered. At least coming from the top of the nose. But the problem is one of these is not centered up under it. Let's see how this one looks. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. And yeah, I probably could just leave that little line off. I'm trying to get my needle up under it so it's not pulled quite so tight. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a needle right up under that. So when I tie that, I'm not burying that in there. So now I want to take these two strands and tie them together. And hide these yarns down in Tony's body. All right, Tony. Come on, we got work to do. Should have stuck my yarn in first, my needle in first. Now I can the struggle is real here. And they don't have to come out the same hole because they're just going to be pushed back up in there. Like this one, I'm going to trim it off a little shorter. Throw that away. And then I'm just going to push these strands down in the stuffing. So you can't even see it there anymore. And there we have Tony, but he still needs a tail. I gotta read about the tail and see what I'm supposed to do. What? Wait a minute, that's a little too much for me. I'm gonna read these directions because seems like a lot for just a tail. Okay, I'm gonna do my tail just a little bit different because that was a little much just for an amigurumi tail. I'm gonna find my center down here, probably about right there and there. According to his arms in the back, let me see what I got going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I think if I just come on down here and I get these 2 stitches right here, it will be good enough. It'll be fine. Okay. I'm just going to crochet mine onto the rat like the arms are. instead of, now I got a knot. Instead of crocheting it and then adding it on, I'm just going to do it like my arms and slip stitch into the body. And I made a knot in my yarn here when it all wadded up, because I was pulling it every which way too. Okay, where are you at? And so I'm gonna do my tail a little bit different. It'll be fine until it's not. I'm just going to slip stitch right here. Just slip that in, and I'm going to just start chaining. I think the goal is for it to be skinny and then fatter as it gets closer to the body, right? So I am going to slip stitch. I'll slip stitch it first. Get over here, Tony. Quit running away. Just like a rat trying to get away from me. So I'm going to slip stitch a couple of stitches. Honestly, I don't even know what the pattern said, because I just know the pattern's made off of the body and then you add it to the body, and I don't want to do that. I just want to be done with it. So okay, I slip stitch those, and now I'm just going to single crochet. Is that into that? Yeah, I think so. And now I can get a little fatter, but Tony's just rolling all around, not cooperating with me. I don't want to stop to put him on a stand. Okay. Maybe I should have slip stitched all the way down. I don't know. Let me go see how this looks. If I'm not happy with it, I can rip it out and then slip stitch. Okay. Maybe a couple more. I'm having trouble seeing, to be honest. And if I turn this off, I can actually see better. I forget that sometimes. The light washes it out for me sometimes. It's too much light. And Big Daddy and I did talk about my eye doctor's appointment. I'm just not happy with what I've got going on. Yeah. And so I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, I'm still going to go to that eye doctor, because that eye doctor is in with all my other doctors. And because I take a Plaquenil, I have to have my eyes checked for that. But I can still go and have my eyes checked for the Plaquenil, and the doctors can see that I did get a check and all that kind of stuff, you know, and get the reports for that. But for my glasses, I'm gonna go somewhere else, because I'm just not thrilled with And I should have slip stitched back into the project before I tore it off, but I didn't. But that works. That works. So anyway, I'm gonna go somewhere else in a couple of weeks, and get my eyes checked and get glasses, because they are taking a long time to actually. It's okay. I like the tail fine enough. It might be, you know, a longer skinny tail if it was just slip stitched instead of the single crochets. But I think Tony's good. He's been caught in a trap or two in his life, and his tail is kind of naughty looking, because he's had trying to steal the cheese and getting caught a few times, so his tail might have a kink or two in it. I think that's what his problem is. And I'm gonna just go in. I'm gonna get this yarn. I'm gonna try to get the other yarn at the same time. Cut down on some of this. My hands are like not wanting to work. They're fighting against me here. So anyway, I am going to be going to a different eye doctor in a few weeks. Let me see. Let's get Big Daddy settled with his job and paychecks and all that kind of stuff. And see what our vision insurance is going to cover. We do have vision insurance right now also, but it doesn't cover that much. It's not that great, to tell you the truth, but okay, let me just pull this through. Tired of fooling with it. Ah! Come on. Alright, let me snip this. Snip. Oh, I got it on the first try. How about that? And stuff it in there. Run it up in that stuffing, and look what we got. Tony the rat is done. Now, he looks a little bit wonky to me there. Okay, it's just my stuffing needs to be plushed around, and you know, you have to kind of roll them sometimes and get your stuffing to go exactly where you want it. And where does Stan go? Okay, here's his stand that I stole from E.T. There we go. There is Tony the rat. He looks like he is ready to swipe some pizza from somewhere, so I'll have to make his little piece of pizza. And there's his tail. It could have actually been longer. But his tail looks a little bit naughty, like maybe it's been caught in a mouse trap, right? I probably should just slip stitched all the way down instead of doing those single crochets. But he is what he is. I like him enough. He is a friend of Martha's, Martha and the rat. And you know what? Larvae is going to hang out with them. And the next project up will be their friend also. Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate you all so much for hanging out with me, keeping me company while I worked. I hope I was able to keep you company while you was working on something or being productive. And I'll see you all in the next video, friends. Bye, guys.